everybody, this is Froese with Two Beards on Board Game. Today we're going to take a look at Unstable Unicorns, a game we recently received from Kickstarter. We do also have a video review of this up if you'd like to check that out. We'll put the link down in the descriptions. Okay, so first off, we have a couple of expansion packs we got with our Kickstarter. We have the Uncut Unstable Unicorns, which we will not be going over. This is essentially a not safe for work pack to add to your base game. We have the Dragon expansion pack that comes with some different Dragon and Wizard cards. We'll take a look at these later on in the video. We also have the Candy Cute expansion pack. It has some cuter unicorns in it, a little more kid-friendly. Take a look at that later in the video as well. And then we have the Zombie Apocalypse expansion pack. Now this is, in my opinion, the only expansion pack that changes the game. So we will go over these later as well. So to get setup out of the way, what you're going to do is you're going to find your baby unicorns. They have a different backing. Their backs are white, so they're easy to identify. You're going to go ahead and take baby unicorns, and we let everybody pick out their own baby unicorn that they want to start with. Each player is going to start with one of these. The rest of the baby unicorns are going to go ahead and get set aside. I'll go ahead and start with this narwhal here. The rest of the unicorns are going to go ahead and get set aside right in the middle of the table so that everybody can access them. You are able to get more baby unicorns as time goes on. Then you're going to go ahead and shuffle up your deck. Now, this is a fairly large deck as it is. If you want to, you can add any of your expansions to it. It does make the deck very large. So once you have your deck shuffled, you're going to go ahead and just pass out 5 cards to every player. This is going to make up your starting hand. Now the goal of this game is to get 7 unicorns in your stable. There are different rules depending on how many people you're playing with. According to this, 2 players is 7 unicorns. There are additional rules for 2 players if you want to do that at unstableunicorns.com. 3 to 5 players is 7 unicorns. 6 to 8 players is 6 unicorns. Now, we've played with a couple different play sessions of this with varying amounts of people. We have found that, 7 unicorns is fine. The game does go pretty quick. You're also going to want to pass out one of these reference cards to each player. It just gives you an idea of what different type of unicorn cards there are, different keywords you might need to know, and then your turn order. The goal of the game is to get 7 unicorns in your stable. You're going to do that a couple of different ways. There's 2 different types of unicorns that you can play. One is just a basic unicorn. It doesn't do anything special. You just play that to your stable. The other type of unicorn that you can play are magical unicorns. Now, magical unicorns have abilities on the bottom. This one says if this card is in your stable at the beginning of your turn, you may discard a card. If you do, bring a baby unicorn directly into your stable from the nursery. Now, baby unicorns do count towards your 7 unicorn total. The only way to get more baby unicorns is to play a card like this and follow the directions on the card. Make sure while you're playing that you pay attention to the abilities on your magical unicorns. There are a lot of different abilities that do a lot of different things. So if you miss one of them, then you don't get to activate that ability for that turn. You're going to have to wait till your next turn to do that. There are also upgrade and downgrade cards that you can play. Upgrade cards go into your stable. They help you out. This one says you must have a basic unicorn in your stable in order to play this card. If it's in your stable at the beginning of your turn, you may bring a basic unicorn from your hand directly into your stable. So there's a lot of different abilities that these can do. Most of them help you get more unicorns in your stable. Now, as a rule clarification, you only have to have a basic unicorn in your stable to play this, which means if it's already in your stable and you lose all of your basic unicorns, this will stay in play according to the rules. Now, downgrade cards are cards that you're going to play on other players' stables. This says as long as this card is in your stable, you can only have 5 unicorns in your stable. Well, that means that if you play this on somebody else's stable, they can never get to 7 unicorns and win. There are cards that let you destroy downgrades and upgrades to change the game a little bit. Those cards are magic cards. Magic cards have a variety of effects. This one is return a card in any player's stable to that player's hand. That player must then discard a card. So with this, you could return a unicorn, you could return an upgrade, and then they would have to discard a card. There are also Nee cards. So this is essentially a counterspell. So this is played when it's not your turn. When one of your opponents is playing a unicorn or a card that may affect your stable, or if they're playing their last unicorn to win the game, you can play a Nee card, which essentially stops that card from being played. Now, again, as a rule clarification, a Nee card can be nayed. So you can nay a Nee. However, there is a super Nee card. This one specifically says if it's played, the card that was going to go into play is nayed, and this card cannot be nayed, which means that this one cannot be stopped. So you start the game with 5 cards in your hand. The first player draws a card, and then you have the option to either play a card or draw a card. If you have unicorns in your hand, you may want to play those, or you may want to save them for later. You can play a card, and then that ends your turn. If you have more than 7 cards in your hand at the end of your turn, you need to discard down to 7. Now let's say that I don't want to play any of the cards in my hand. Well, then I can go ahead and just draw for this turn, and then it's the next player's turn. And then again, the whole goal of the game is just to get 7 unicorns in your stable, and you win. So once you play your 7th unicorn, it can be any combination of basic unicorns, baby unicorns, as well as magical unicorns. Once you have 7 of those in play, you've won the game. Well, that's how you play the base game. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the expansions here. This is the Cute Candy expansion, and this doesn't add a whole lot as far as gameplay variation goes. It's got some more nays in it. It's got some new magic cards in it, some new magical unicorns. It has a lot of new basic unicorns in it. Really the only difference is just a varying type of unicorn abilities. This expansion doesn't do a whole lot to add to gameplay, so I would suggest putting it in there, maybe if you're playing with your kids or something like that, just for the cute factor. Now the Dragon expansion, again, adds some new nays, some different artwork, some more basic unicorns. This does add a little more destruction to the deck. So you're going to have a little bit more where you can destroy other people's unicorns. It may extend the game play a little bit. I have heard online from people saying that they think the game may be a little bit too quick. So this may be a good idea to add to it if you want maybe a little bit longer of a game. But again, it's not going to change the game too much. It's just going to give you different types of unicorns in dragon skins. It's got a Gandalf, Nay. So I mean, it's fun. I enjoy the artwork on these. But other than that, it's not going to do a whole lot for you. Okay, this is the Apocalypse Pack. Now, unlike the other two, this one actually does a lot. There is a lot of destruction in this. There are cards that can almost wipe the entire board. This, we have found, extends gameplay quite a bit. So if you are looking to make the game longer, you think it's too short, I would suggest putting this one in. This also makes the game a lot more interactive. There's a lot more back and forth between players. We found that the base game, even with the extra Dragon Pack and the Candy Pack, there's not a ton of interaction that goes on between the players other than playing the occasional downgrade card. There are a couple of destroy spells. This one, however, this one has a ton of destruction in it. Ultimate destruction, sacrifice all of your unicorns, then destroy a unicorn in each player's stable. And there are multiples of that card in there. So if you want a longer game and you like something that's a little more interactive, as far as, destroying other people's unicorns and stuff, I definitely recommend putting this pack in. I will say I don't recommend putting all 3 packs in at once. You dilute them down. It's something that I would only do one of these at a time. I'll say one thing I like about these is that it does have different colored stars on the bottom that let you know what pack they came from. Red is for Apocalypse, green is for Dragon, black is for Unsafe, and then pink is for the candy corn. So I do like that. So it's easy to get these in and out. If there was no marking on them at all, you shuffle them in there, it'd take forever to go through every single card. It's a pretty big deck, so I do appreciate that they did that. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions about the game, go ahead and leave those in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to our channel to see more.